Hi everybody, this is Katina. So I am here today with a Backun Alpha Clarinet. It is in the box and it is very well taped up. So you'll have to give me a second to start to open it. I really haven't even opened the box. So this is a very legit unboxing. I've never played one of these before. And I have played some Backun clarinets, but not this one. So when I try clarinets, obviously I'm going to have my clarinet with me. So the clarinet that I play on right now is a Buffet Prestige, and I have a Rice Clarinet Works barrel, and I have a Backun mouthpiece, and I have no idea which one it is. And it's kind of embarrassing to say that out loud. And then I have a Rovner ligature on here. So I'm going to go ahead and hopefully open this with my handy dandy Swiss Army knife without injuring myself. It is very well taped. And thank you to Backun for sending this to me to try. So I am excited to try it out. So what little I know about the Alpha Clarinet is that this is not a wooden clarinet. It's designed so that people can play it outside, which is fantastic. And it's one of these clarinets, you know, we need to have a clarinet that we can use outside for marching band or any gigs that we have that are outside. I've played my fair share of wedding gigs that are outside, so you definitely are not going to want to take your wooden clarinet out for something like that. Sadly, I am cutting this cardboard to get this open. This is really in here. Here we go. Watch me cut my hand while I'm doing this. It'll defeat the whole purpose. So anyway, having a plastic clarinet or composite clarinet is really, really important for us for versatility of playing, especially for those of us that do play in marching band. I've also done my fair share of busking, so if you've done some busking, go ahead and comment. It's Hi Epic Fails, and David Hi, and Man of Suits. That is a great name. Hi Franklin. But yeah, so when I was dating my now husband, I was at a music festival in Germany and he was at a music festival in Switzerland, and I could not afford to pay the train ticket to go visit him. So I sure did go into Leipzig with my friend Richard and put our cases out and play some duets. But I did it on a wooden clarinet, which scared the daylights out of me the entire time, because you do not want to be playing outside with your wooden clarinet at all. They can crack, they can get damaged. So I'm excited to try this one because you can play this clarinet outside. All right, so I got this very well sealed box open without too much damage. It has a handy dandy warranty and care pamphlet, which is great. So you would fill out this and you would send this in as your warranty. We have a warning. And so it says it can expose you to lead. So it's one of these ones that that California has you put in there. So it probably has to do with the keys or maybe the case. But I'm not too concerned about that. Okay. Oh, I am going to have to break the seal in the plastic bag. I'm already into the case. Look at this thing. This is hardcore. I could drop this on a bus and it would be fine. This is very sturdy. I'm pushing on it. I had a student once that ran over her own clarinet, so I always check cases out now. Oh, look how pretty it looks inside. So the case is really, really nice. I have the barcode right here, so we don't want to lose that. Which just fell out of the case right after I say we don't want to lose it. It fell out. So here it is. It smells very, very brand new. And let's put it together and play. It comes with a swab and it comes with some cork grease. Since I am trying a clarinet, I'm going to turn my light on so you guys can see me a little better. Since I'm trying a clarinet here, I'm not going to use the clarinet or the cork grease that comes with the clarinet. So that's advice for whenever you try clarinets and they send them to you, go ahead and not use the cork grease that comes with it, because they're going to need that for the next person that actually buys it. So I'm just going to leave that there and I will use my own cork grease. When trying clarinets, especially if it's something like this where it's brand new and never been used before, you're going to want to put cork grease on the corks so that you don't damage them. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Oh, look at this. It's got the little Backun thing here. I like that. Of course, the cork grease I pulled out is all used up. So I'm gonna dig my finger in there and just get it out that way, because waste not, want not. So Tyler says hi, Tina says hi, another David, oh, David said, I think you can, but I wouldn't know. I don't remember what I said. Epic Fail says ha. Tyler, it is very pretty looking, and I like the sort of buffed look to the bell here. I always think that's really pretty, and it's a little fatter down at the bottom, which I think is cool. So I did the cork grease on the bottom joint, and I didn't drop it, I caught it. So it is tight to put together still, but that can be expected of a new clarinet. And then I just wiped cork grease all over my pants, which looks really disgusting because it looks like snot. So it is tight right now with the cork, but you're gonna want that because the corks do, they tend to wear down. So when putting it together, I want to be very careful with a tight cork to not bend the keys. So you just be careful of that. I am going to leave the mouthpiece that they have in here for now and just try it on my mouthpiece. So it does come with a mouthpiece, a ligature, and a mouthpiece cap, and it looks like a pretty standard ligature. I don't know much about the mouthpieces. Usually with clarinets, I don't bother with the mouthpiece. I use my own mouthpiece because stock mouthpieces tend not to be so fantastic, but I do know instrument makers, especially new instrument makers, have upped their game in the mouthpiece department. So since I am just trying the clarinet right now with you guys in the live stream, I'm going to leave the clarinet mouthpiece in there and try it on my mouthpiece. I'm going to put a little more cork grease down at the bottom. Yeah, you can get a reed wet, but Epic Fail says you can put, oh, Joel Jaffe's here, hi! Yes, I'm excited about reviewing the Alpha. Yes, you can get a reed wet by soaking it in water. Sure, I admit it, we're all friends here. I'm kind of, if you haven't noticed already, sort of a lazy clarinet player. When people ask me for really detailed advice on reeds, I'm always saying things like, yeah, whatever works best for you. So reeds last longer if you soak them in water. I just always forget to have my little cup of water handy. So I just usually soak them in my mouth. But, you know, it is better for them to soak them in water. That's why oboe players and bassoon players do it, because it just... their reeds are so expensive they can't take any risks. All right, so this is a tight cork fit here too. So I want to be very careful putting this together, not to damage the keys. So once again, for anybody that's new, it is absolutely normal for a new clarinet to have tight corks. You want them to, because corks do wear down with time. Also, it is very humid here today in Virginia, so it's possible that the corks are a little more swollen than they normally would be because it's kind of rainy and cruddy outside, so that'll make an impact. I am going to grab a cloth and wipe off the extra cork grease from this because we want to have it nice and clean. But so far it's beautiful. I do love this burnished look to it. And then I just want to wipe it down a little bit. Okay, the bell reminds me of a fancy version of the Yamaha. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? And then David, you have a question. What's the difference between an Alpha Clarinet with a regular clarinet? Okay, that's just the name of this brand of clarinet. And since Joel Jaffe is here, and hopefully he'll stay here and he can help me out with some questions in the chat, it's not... you know, it's just like having, like what Tyler was saying, the Yamaha 255 clarinet or a Buffet Prestige clarinet. So it's just the name of the clarinet. And then Joel, if you want to drop some of the specs in there, that would be awesome too. So when I try clarinets, I want to keep it very consistent because I'm listening for specific things. Now, I love noodling around on clarinets and it's a lot of fun, but what we want to do is be much more specific with it. So what I'm going to do is take this clarinet, which is my clarinet I play on most of the time, and I'm going to just play an F major scale slurred. Art lover, yeah, Jupiters are good clarinets, and then Joel can definitely give you some differences between the Jupiter and the Alpha, and there are going to be some big ones. This is a higher quality clarinet than the Jupiter, but you can play this one outside too, just like you can the Jupiter. Man of Suits, you're in Virginia too! Epic Fails, can you do the Scooby-Doo theme? Oh my god, you guys are killing me with the Scooby-Doo theme. I will do it, but you know it's like number 85 on my list. Okay, hi Jared. Okay, all right, here we go. right, so I'm going to switch out to the Alpha now. Now, of course, I should put some more cork grease on my mouthpiece to make this process a little easier for me. Okay, I shouldn't have talked either. Here we go. So I'm going to go with my very first impression and tell you what I'm noticing first. So it's not that dissimilar sound-wise in the shallow range from my buffet. But it has a tighter feel once I get around the C, D, E, F, which I like. So I feel like it's condensed and I can control it really nicely. And that continues over the break. So I really like it over the break. It's much more, like I said earlier, it has a condensed feeling, which I like. So I'm not working real hard with my tongue position in my mouth to control that sound. So I do like that. What brand is my reed? So I'm playing a D'Addario Reserve reed. So let me do it one more time so I can get that feel for it. But what I'm liking just on my very first play of it is that it feels very consistent, and I really like the consistency also of the intonation. Now, certain notes are a little stuffier than other ones, but that also could be just key placement. It could be my hand position as well. So I'm going to go back to mine. Now, remember, my clarinet, I'm familiar with it. I've been playing this clarinet for a couple of years now. So when you have a clarinet that you've been playing for a while, you make unconscious or subconscious adjustments. You don't even know you're doing it. So, you know, we spend all this time practicing it, and ideally you know what you want with sound, you know what you want coming out of the instrument, and so you learn how to adjust for that. I don't have any of that with the Alpha. It's my very first time playing it. This one, this is the wooden one. This is the buffet. It's actually brighter sounding to me than the Alpha. And if you've known me and you've been on my channel for a while, you know I actually like the darker sounds. So I do like that more so far. But this one doesn't have those little stuffy spots. So let's see what we can find here. Now remember, this is not a wooden clarinet. But what I'm finding that I'm doing right now that I really, really like is I'm comparing this as an equal with my my wooden one. So this is, you know, these are all good things that you want, especially because we're talking about a plastic clarinet, which has the reputation many times of being an inferior instrument to the wooden ones. But let's be honest, a lot of our playing can be outside for some of us. I've definitely done some gigs where it's like, you know, let's play this super cool Art Deco concert, and we're gonna go into a building that bats have been living in for the past 30 years, and we don't have any kind of insulation in here. And I get in there and I've got my wooden clarinets and I'm like, God, what have I done? You know, so this would be the perfect situation for that. Then I'd have this clarinet so I know that I'm safe. I don't have any cracking issues that could happen in the middle of a performance, which is terrifying for all of us, right? So this is already a sturdier clarinet that it would be more reliable, that I would be able to trust in some of the weird performance situations I have found myself in through the years. Ring, it's nice. I'm not using a professional mic right now on my phone. I just, you know, I grabbed my phone real fast today. But so far, that ring is really beautiful. There's a nice buzz from where I'm sitting. And once again, the consistency is really, really nice. Now, remember when I said some of the notes were a little stuffy sounding? I am not noticing that as much right now. So that's where that unconscious adjustment comes into play. So I've been playing for about 30 years now. And that will be one of those things that I just do sometimes without even paying attention to it. So, and that would be things that you can adjust with your, you know, your embouchure and your tongue position too. But I really like this. Now, here's how you know that you have found a clarinet that might be a good match for you. You want to keep playing it. You want to play more things on it. So yeah, you know, for me, now, so the A and the B flat are a little stuffier compared to the other notes, and that's why I usually play the opening of the Brahms. But like I said, that's an easy fix. So we can use resonance fingerings in there, and since I don't know this guy well enough, that would be something I would play around with. That is a huge difference. I'm going to stand up so you can see that. So this is a resonance fingering. No resonance fingering. Do you hear how stuffy that is? But then as soon as I adjust, big difference. What is really nice too is it's so smooth over the break. I'm not really working very hard to get that to happen. Do you hear that? That's really, really nice. And you know, like I talked about before, since we're all friends here, I haven't been practicing as much during the quarantine. I've been finding other ways to sort of do my self-care. So I'm a little out of shape compared to how I would want to be. And I am not putting a lot of effort in doing my octave leaps, which can be challenging on the clarinet. So that so far is really, really nice. So I'm liking this for the consistency through the range. I really think it has a pretty sound. But the one thing I haven't tested yet are articulations. Articulations are great too. So that's one of the things you're going to need to check as well to make sure that you're comfortable with the articulations and you're getting the style of articulations that you want. So you want to be able to have nice legato ones and then short ones. And so far, this is showing nice flexibility with the articulations too. I'm really happy with this. So this is a nice treat for me to play a clarinet that I'm really enjoying playing. And then intonation. Here's our next one. And that you're going to want a tuner for. And I'm going to do a longer video with this clarinet so that I can go through everything more in detail with everybody instead of just in a live stream. Because we get interrupted a lot in a live stream, so a little more of a relaxed flow to it. And in that video, I'll go over the intonation. But so far, it sounds really nicely in tune. Very, very pretty. So I'm really, really liking this clarinet. All right, I'm going to take some of the questions because I've been seeing a lot of chatting going on in here. So let's see, I have to scroll back up here and see what's going on. Okay, so I'm getting a lot of hellos. And I want to make sure I say hi to everybody. So starting, yeah, Man of Suits, that's, I love that name. So you get, can you get a clarinet moist by soaking it in water? That's Franklin. Yes, you can. And thank you everybody that jumps in and answers questions for me. I really appreciate it. And I really appreciate it when you guys answer questions in my videos too, because sometimes I don't get to all the comments. So thank you. Hi Tina, hi Tyler, hi David, okay, Epic Fails, hi. Hi Joel again, Art Lover, hi. Okay, I have a question. What's the difference between the Alpha Clarinet and a regular clarinet? I'm hoping Joel got to that one. Tyler, Joel. Okay, here we go. You guys with the Scooby-Doo theme. Hi, Jarrett. Okay. All right, so Joel said it's Backun's student synthetic B-flat clarinet offered in several options, nickel or silver keywork, with or without the optional E-flat lever. And I have the nickel one without the lever. That's what he said. The extra E-flat key, if that's what we're talking about here, I actually don't use that. I've taken that off my other clarinets because I just slide. I prefer sliding. And we already did the reed, D'Addario Reserve reed. Can you do the fastest chromatic scale you can? So that's that one. The Jupiter is a plastic clarinet, art lover. And I wouldn't take your hard rubber in a building like that. The hard rubber is a little bit, so Man of Suits, yeah, it depends. I mean, I wouldn't take my wooden clarinet back. It was a Spoleto festival, if any of you know that. And so it's really fun to play gigs like that, but it is no fun to take your wooden clarinet in there. Also, with any hard rubber, be aware that that can be damaged by hot weather as well. I've seen hard rubber clarinets just take a beating in marching band season. So just be aware. And then Joel says, interestingly, this instrument was designed for our artists to perform outdoor concerts with. Yeah, I can tell. Only after some time was it made available to dealers for the student rental market. Yeah, this would be a great clarinet for school. I wasn't, I didn't even really talk about that much. I did say marching band, but we do a lot of outdoor concerts when we play in school. And also the price point is probably fantastic for buying this one for school. This is definitely comparable to a wooden clarinet. And wooden clarinets tend to have this mystique about them, like, oh, I have a wooden clarinet. And the problem with some wooden clarinets is they're really made quite poorly. And I'm not a fan of the Buffet E11. It breaks. It has the mechanism for the BE key is not fantastic, and it's always slipping and breaking, and that's the last thing you want when you're spending a lot of money on an instrument, and when you're a student and you can't get it repaired all the time. And also explain that to your parents, like, oh, I need to get my clarinet fixed again, and that's hard. Clarinets, if they're breaking, that's expensive. We already have reeds, so a nice plastic clarinet like this one that's made for professionals to use outside is a way better situation than a wooden clarinet that's poor quality. So the wooden clarinets can get blown out of proportion sometimes, in my opinion. The other thing about wooden clarinets is that you have to actually care for them in a way that's different than a plastic clarinet. They cannot handle extremes of temperature. They cannot handle extremes even of humidity. I had a wooden clarinet crack because I just, when I came home from work, I would put it down near my front door, and there was a draft in my front door, and it cracked because I wasn't being mindful of where I was placing it. So you wouldn't have to worry about this with this clarinet. The other thing is that schools tend to be very, very drafty, and so if you're keeping it in your locker, you would actually be able to take this back and forth to school with you, whereas a wooden clarinet, you don't necessarily have that luxury. So you have to swab those clarinets out. Now, you're obviously going to have to swab this one out too, but if you're not consistently swabbing a wooden clarinet out, you can actually have some serious damage that can happen to that. This would probably smell really bad, and you might need to get new pads if you don't swab it out, but it is not going to crack. So that's my 2 cents about, wooden clarinets. They are not as great as they are inflated to be sometimes. So okay, Eleanor, hello. Since the quarantine, I have been watching Parks and Recreation. I have not been able to find a tutorial for Parks and Recreation, and that's such a great theme. I will put that on the list. After Scooby-Doo, it is like now number 86. Okay, but that's a good request right there. Okay, okay, do the fastest chromatic. I did it. My clarinet cannot go over the break. I'll talk to you separately about that. Hi, Tim. And thank you for letting me test it. So this is really fun. I'm really, really enjoying it. Yeah, and if anybody has questions, Tim and Joel can help you out. And Tina, my dream is a Backun. I was going to try them out at Clarinet Fest. Oh, for those of you that don't know what Clarinet big nerd fest, and I can say that because I've been Art Trek convention, and so I have my 2 levels of nerdiness. But it's our big clarinet convention. It was supposed to happen in June. It was canceled, which was a good call. Sadly, we can't go. And you can go there and try a bunch of clarinets, and it really, really is fun to go to the different booths and try the clarinets out. And the Backun booth is really, really fun to go try clarinets there because everybody is super nice. But I'm sorry you didn't get to try out your Backun clarinet. Now, Tina, you do have options though, and I'm sure Tim and Joel can jump in for me, but you could try them at home also if you wanted to, and I'm sure that they can help you with that. Most clarinet companies do that anyway, and I'm sure that during quarantine that people will be able to, you know, customer service at the different companies will be able to help people out for trying them at home. All right, clarinet, how to play G. All right, you want me to do a tutorial on how to play high G? Good. Thank you, Tyler. How do you play high G above the staff? Okay, we'll talk about that. And let's see. Okay, a friend of mine had a hard rubber mouthpiece, and after marching band, it turned flat and stinky. Stunk up her case too. Yes. Please be careful with your hard rubber mouthpieces. Just like I'm saying, don't take your wooden clarinet out or your super duper nice clarinet out in marching band season. You want to do the same thing with your mouthpiece. Don't take it to marching band. And maybe Joel and Tim can give me a little bit of insight here, but I have seen this bizarre thing happen with some clarinets when people are in marching band, if they have bug spray or sunscreen on and then they do parade rest, you know, and some of that sunscreen gets on the wood, and then the wood is, or no, the plastic or the composite or the hard rubber, and then it's out in the sun, it actually can damage it and melt it a little bit. It's like a perfect storm of horribleness. So Joel, there are many great materials for clarinets from wood to synthetic. Keep in mind with hard rubber models, they are quite heavy and change in discolor over time. Yeah, they are heavy. If you haven't played one, they're very heavy. They do warp, like they change. So, and they can smell a little bit. But for bass clarinet, I've seen them work nicely too. I'm used to using a neck strap, so the weight of the hard rubber doesn't bother me. Okay, that's cool. What is the ligature I'm using? Okay, this is a Rovner Platinum, I think. And what is, okay, the Alpha has an adjustable thumb rest. Yes, I'm gonna swing that bad boy around so we all can see that, and I'm gonna have my conversation about thumb rests right now. This is a good conversation to have. And I didn't adjust this one. So it has a loop right here for your neck strap, which is fantastic, because this one doesn't have that loop, and so when I used to use a neck strap, I had like this little leather thing that I'd shove in there. So having the loop is really, really nice, especially for those of us that are using it in marching band, if you use a neck strap for that. Now, the thumb rest being adjustable is extremely important because ideally, oh, you can see where my cat bit me. It's a little embarrassing. Okay, I'll do my other hand. So you would want your clarinet to rest comfortably in your hand just like that. So you don't want that thumb pushed all the way down there. I don't know who came up with the placement for the thumb rests, but it does not work for young people, and it really doesn't work for me, for my hand position. So I noticed that with people with smaller hands. So the thumb rest here is adjustable. I'm having a little trouble doing it just on my own. So I would use, well, you know what? I have a Swiss Army knife. Product placement. So all I have to do is just loosen this a little bit, and then I can adjust the thumb rest accordingly. And it was just a tiny little bit to loosen it. But I like the thumb rest all the way up, and now it's closer to a natural hand position for me. So a regular thumb rest really does push my thumb down like that, which puts a lot of strain on my thumb and my hand right here. But having that adjustable thumb rest is really, really, really important for us because everybody's hands are different. So I really, really like that. Tone side the bell. What? I didn't even see that. There it is. So I don't know if I'll be able to show you this. There it is. You can see it. So by that angle right there, you can see that tone ring in there. And that helps with intonation, according to Tim. And the pads are synthetic and will not mold or mildew, and they are water resistant. This is enormous because I don't really know any other clarinets that are plastic on the market that have pads like that. And I see some really unbelievably disgusting pads. And go ahead and do yourself a horrible favor and Google saxophone lung, because we can get it too, where you can get mildew and things like that inside the clarinet. And so you have to have these waterproof pads. It's really helpful for preventing things like that. And none of the thumb rests go high enough for me. Yes, that is true. This one is actually the best one I've ever seen. honestly. And I'm not just saying that. I'm telling you the truth here because for my hand, it's really, really nice. I'm really upset about that cat bite. I'm on antibiotics for that thing, but it was my fault. I provoked her. Okay, so this is the best one I've seen for my hand. The other thing I've done with thumb rests and other clarinets is I actually unscrew it and flip it over if it's not an adjustable one to get to at least get something closer for my hand position. The tone ring is really, really cool. I am gonna, Joel wrote to Tina and I had to just approve that one. Do beginners learn high G above the staff in the altissimo? Just a second. Wow, you guys have tons of questions. Yeah, the tone ring is really, really fun. Sean's here. Hi, Sean. How do you control play soft but fast air? Oh my gosh, I'm not going to get to all these today, but I will happily make videos about that too. And if I don't get to your question today, because I'm going to try and stay on topic with trying clarinets, meet me again on Friday and we'll talk about it there too. The thumb rest screw was designed so you can use a dime to adjust at any time. And a Swiss Army knife. Works very nice. And then, do beginners learn high G above the staff in altissimo? Some really good beginners do. I've seen it. I had a 6th grader that could do that. How do you know if it is adjustable? Okay, so the adjustable thumb rests are very complicated looking. So look at this whole mechanism here, and then you can loosen this. I don't have a dime handy, but you can move it like that, and that's how you know if you have an adjustable thumb rest. The ones, I don't have a clarinet with a thumb rest here that is not adjustable, so I can't show you, but the ones that don't have it, it's just stationary. It doesn't have all this stuff there. Oh, thank you. Oh, you have a Backun protege or protege, a 1-year retiree, and the music has come very nicely. Awesome. And that's really important, actually, what Michael O'Brien said. Oh, and Mike O'Brien, I owe you like 50,000 emails, and I want to say it on record for everybody, and I will write back to you, I promise. You've been on my list. Anyway, you want your clarinet to work for you. You do not want to work for your clarinet. So that's what has been enjoyable for me playing this today, is I feel like I don't have to do any work. Really nice and easy to play. I'm not doing any adjusting. That's just me straight up blowing the air into the instrument playing, right? So that's what you want. If you know, and there's so many clarinets out there to try, and we're all different people, right? But so don't get wrapped up in the reputation of an instrument being like, why isn't this working for me? And I really want this to work for me, and trying to make it work for you. Don't worry about it. Just try a different one. So like I said, you want the clarinet to work for you. You want to work as little as possible. You already have enough to do. Okay, wait, are you, stop that, Joel, really? So it's $1,004 US for the manufacturer's suggested retail price, which is less than a lot of student model wooden clarinets. And this plays better than a lot of student model clarinets that are wooden that I have played. So this would be a recommendation over that if you were my student, hands down. Because also it's really sturdy, you know? You don't have to worry about this bad boy cracking. And I see tons of clarinets cracking. And you know, if you're in high school and your clarinet cracks, that's an expensive repair. So this sounds lovely, and it's nice to play, and it's in tune. So you know, for a price point like that, that's a better price point than some of these student model wooden ones. How do you prevent cat bites? Oh my God, this is how you prevent cat bites, Sean. You don't give your cat a shot. I have, for some of you, if for anybody here that knows me and has been to a lot of my videos, I have a cat. She is One-Eyed Wonder, and we just found out she is terminally ill, and she is 9 months old. So we are trying an experimental treatment with her that is a drug that they are also using to help people with the coronavirus, because what she has is a form of the coronavirus. So I am giving my cat an experimental drug, and she bit me. So that is why I have the cat bite. So yes, don't give your cat shots. Hopefully she doesn't get sick when she's 9 months old. Okay, so that price is amazing. The ligature, again, is the Rovner Platinum. You guys are terrible. How is this clarinet versus the 255? The Yamaha, I haven't played the Yamaha, so I can't compare it. Sorry for the, oh, don't shoot the cat. I don't want to shoot my kitty. Yeah, we just are trying to save her life. I'll keep you all updated. Thanks. It is sad to hear it. I know she's a sweet girl, and it's, so if you don't know, and I'll have my cat tangent, she has FIP. So, yeah, it's a terminal illness. They gave her a couple weeks. So we're trying an experimental drug, and she bit me. So, as would, you know, if somebody stuck a needle in me without, you know, warning me, telling me what was all about. So I am going to sign off for now, but what I'm going to do is, if I have missed your question, because I've had some great questions in here. The high G one is a great question. The person with the clarinet that's not working over the break, that is most likely an instrument that's broken. I have a video in my mini lesson section about playing over the break, so see if you can find that. If you can't find that, send me a message or just comment on this one later on, and I'll point you in the right direction. Hopefully it's user error that you can't play over the break. That's what we want ideally. If it's not user error, then we'll talk about the crow's foot and leaks and things like instrument. But so this was fun to play. I'm going to do a longer review of this one. I have a really fun thing I'm going to do for reviewing it. But thank you guys. Thank you, Backun, for letting me try this. I'm going to actually sign off and just keep practicing. And like I said, I haven't really practiced much during the quarantine. So you know it's a good instrument if it's making me want to practice. And thank you for prayers for my kitty cat. She's a good girl. Yeah, definitely send me the questions. I didn't get to everything today. And thanks for watching, everybody. Bye. Wait, what's this? Error problem exists between the clarinet and the chair. Oh, okay. I was trying to keep up with Sean. Listen, for those of you that are seeing Sean in the chat from Clarinet, you've got to go subscribe to him. He's got a great podcast and a really great YouTube channel. So definitely pop on over there and subscribe to him so you can stay on top of the content he's putting out, because he's putting out a lot of great content. Joke about the Altissimo question. Yeah, it's a good one. That's a whole video on its own. So I'll tell you what, we'll talk about the Altissimo High G on Friday. Okay, we'll make that the focus of that Ask a Clarinet Teacher. All right, bye everybody.